ticker for like my parties. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Not welcome to Connected with Carrie, but welcome to Underground Radio C Party Day. Whoop, whoop. Well, we're here with Zaire Inc., and he's been on the show. I don't know, was it like a year ago? I think almost a
Yeah, I
year
think,
ago.
October, yeah.
Yeah, it was almost a year ago. So you about
Mhm,
8 or 9 months ago. So welcome
mhm.
back. We
Thank
wanted to
you.
do something fun today and actually have like a little album listening party because he's
Mhm.
been working hard behind the scenes since he was last on the show. And we just want to do a follow up and just see what was going on. But since then, you've been busy. So tell us a little bit about, well, we'll do a little intro and then
Yeah.
tell us again a little bit about, what you've been working on and doing. And then we're going to go into each song that's on his album. We're
Yep.
actually going to go in order. So, those of you that are watching, we're going to go in order and then feel free to pop in and out of the stream if you're watching it, or you can catch the replay, whatever you want, guys, want to do. Have fun. If you're watching with us live, feel free to comment and put your questions in and see. Zare and I will, by all means, answer them as we go along. This is not a
Mhm.
formal show. This is just fun. And, we're just going to go with it and have fun with it because that's what it's all about, right? Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, there you take it away and tell us a little bit about yourself, about your music, and then maybe even start with like kind of the vision for this project. Let's go with that.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah,
Go for it.
absolutely. Well, thanks again for having me, Carrie. I had such a great time in our previous conversation, and so I was ecstatic when you reached out and said you wanted to do this listening party. So, my name is Zaire Inc. I'm a hip hop artist with roots in spoken word poetry, and also work as a youth worker. And so, these two passions have really kind of helped me cultivate this sort of creative element of music with a goal of reaching specifically young people and just people that find themselves wrestling with mental health, wrestling with faith, wanting to dive deep and have difficult conversations about where they are and how they came to that place, and finding hope at the end of that. And so, this project, which we'll be listening to today, five of the songs that have been released, so there's five more to go. So we'll be diving into the first five, and it is called "When You Meet Yourself," and it delves into my journey of faith. Difficult moments I had in my life when my family started to break down, when I was just feeling lost and wayward in terms of my own identity. And so this project, the first five songs really track this, what I call is salvation, and then track five gets into sanctification. And so all of it tells a story of how God reached me in a very dark place and eventually put me on the path to becoming who He created me to be. And so I'm excited to share that with you all today.
It's going to be so fun. And I always call you Zaire, Zaire,
Zaire, yeah, you got it.
because I read it. And then also, I look at your name real quick and then I think of Zane. And I'm like, no, it's not. So at least it's like approachable and it's
Yes,
relatable
yeah,
type of a name. So, which is cool.
exactly.
I love how you took some of your struggles and then you
Hmm.
brought it in and you turned it into your music and
Hmm.
you're putting it out for the world to kind of relate to and go, hey, here is
Yeah.
something that I struggled with, something you may be struggling with, and kind of something that may be approachable for maybe younger teens that go, hey, I love your music, I'm listening to it, they relate to it, and they're going, yeah, I feel this, and he got out
Mhm.
of this situation, and how can I get out of this situation? So,
Yeah.
and I personally love how people get involved with the communities and even just reaching out to youth these days because it's not
Mhm.
easy. Like we've been
Yeah.
there, the struggle is real, and you're just
Mhm.
like, never mind a normal teenage life, but
Yeah.
like that's struggle in itself. But to imagine to have other things on top of that is just like
Exactly. Yeah.
so much going on. So we're
Mhm.
going to dive into the first track. If you want to kind of explain a little bit about this one while I get it kind of set up here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one is called Psalm 73. It's based on the biblical psalm of the same name. And so, what inspired me so much about this biblical psalm is the writer Asaph or Asaph really asks God these difficult questions. He's struggling with, why does it seem like the righteous are having a difficult time in life, but the wicked are prospering? And so he kind of delves into the why that difference is, and he notices that, hey, he's about to break down. He is almost about to almost give up on his relationship with God, and then a shift happens when he realized God is his great reward, and the wicked will ultimately meet their fate by God's justice and his judgment. And so, for my own song, Psalm 73, I really kind of took the first half of that inspiration, where I was finding myself with all of these things in terms of loss, in terms of grief. As I mentioned, my family breakdown, financial struggles, all those different things, and almost challenging God of like, are you, if you're real, then you wouldn't allow these things to happen to me. And so that's kind of what kicks off the album, and sets the stage for this further breakdown and deterioration that happens over the next three songs, after Psalm 73. And so there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration. And when I was writing this, I was reflecting on an earlier time in my life, but it just so happened, I went through another level of grief that just kind of took me and my family by surprise. And so that kind of catapulted me back into the earlier questions of faith that I had. At this time, I was, following God and had a relationship with Him. And so I was able to process that in a completely different way. But I think because I went through that at that moment that I was writing this song, all of those emotions really came up again. And you'll hear that on the song.
Okay. All right. With that, let's get it started.
To get all that's right. Oh, it's hard sometimes. God knows I tried. Yes, I crossed the line. I'll get everything that's mine. I shouldn't be on this track. I got too much going back. Might have to rewind it back. My mom been under attack. What an unfortunate fact. What would you know about that? What would you know about that? What would you know about losing your baby before it's been born? Nobody to bury, but still gotta mourn. As mad as I was, swear I could've sworn, like, God, if you love me, why give me a thorn? I just don't get how it is what it is. You fresh as it is, and my life a kindle like men. So tell me what gives. Our parents just split, and mom, we daddy, will eat off of here. I ate it first in the moment, no money, I'm tired and hungry. I just wanna move where it's sunny and land with the milk and the honey. Maybe I'm wasting my time. If it's a fact that the sun didn't rise, I really should sit back and make the moon shine. But part of my diatribe, you said we would, I tried. Then why do I feel like I've been left behind? The only one buried alive, according to John. Let your hands, you'll be back in a bit. Tell me now, Lord, is it legit? If not, why should I submit? All my life, I've been down in the pit. You on top of the summit. If no one is coming, I'm done with the world and I quit. I'm feeling like a Icarus. I can't go near the sun. All this weight upon my shoulder, why's it gotta weigh a ton? I got way too much inside my mind today. Got me feeling like a Icarus. I can't go near the sun. All this weight upon my shoulder, why's it gotta weigh a ton? I got way too much inside my mind today. Things happen to bad people. Why do bad things happen to good people? I'ma do my time. That I'm gonna trust your time. Why do good things happen to bad people? Why do bad things happen to good people? I'ma do my time. And I'm gonna trust your time. 'Cause you know better.
I think that's one of the most relatable sayings is, why do bad things happen to good people?
Yeah.
And take us through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, shout out to my homie Afumbam, who mixed this project as well, but he's also an incredible singer-songwriter, and so he joined me on that outro singing there. And yeah, I was so glad that he put that, because it is such a simple phrase, but it's one that you hear so often. Why do bad things happen to good people? Good things happen to bad people. And I think that's the very real tension that we experience in the world, right? And I think for me, the part of the understanding is that we live in a world that is not as it was designed to be. We read in the beginning that God created everything very good. Everything was perfect, but because of man's heart to go against God, we see as a result of that, that has spread throughout all of humanity, has spread throughout all of time. And so we think even, when we're following God and we're doing all the right things, that doesn't make us immune to bad things happening. And that was something I needed to learn, where it's not that God will uh, take us away from all our pain, but he promises that he'll be with us through it all. And he makes it known through his son. Jesus comes and endures the most pain, is lashed and beaten, is forsaken. His most trusted people that he relied on, scattered and left him behind. And so what I love so much is that God makes it known to us that he is willing to step into our pain with us. And so he's able to relate to everything that we go through. And that was something that really helped me so much in recognizing that God isn't distant. He's not way off. He's actually willing to be in the pain with us. And so, yeah, that's the conclusion I eventually arrive at. But
Yeah.
initially, just feeling all that anger, all that hurt, made it tough to see that at the time.
Yeah, it does. When you go through those struggles and you're like, oh, you're like, why? Why, God? Why?
Mhm.
And you're like, if
Yeah,
you love me, why are you putting me
exactly.
through this? And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. Then after you're like, oh, there was a lesson here.
Mhm.
Ah, I
Absolutely.
see. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Otherwise, if we don't have our struggles in life, how are we going to grow? How are we going to
Mhm.
learn? And how are we going
Yeah.
to be able to teach others?
Exactly.
Right. So, like, working with youth, especially,
Mhm.
to be able to approach them and say, "Hey, like, oh yeah, you're gonna be fine. Just you'll be,
Mhm.
go, you just walk it off." you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but to go
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, like I was in your situation,
Mhm.
my parents are fighting, went through divorce, or the family being broken up, all those
Mhm.
situations, or just like even wanting to leave home, running
Yeah.
away from your problems." But to teens, it's not like you're running away from your problems. It's like there's no other avenue. And that's the only way
Mhm.
they see it is
Yeah.
like, oh, if I just get away from it all, it won't follow me. But in fact, it will follow and it will become worse. So,
100%.
yeah, so it's good to have something relatable and go, "Hey, like you may not be able to, you will never be able to outrun God in any situation, but he will
Mhm.
definitely." Yeah, and you could hate him too. Like I remember going through situations and I went through time where I'm like, "You know what? I just I don't like you, God, right now."
Mhm.
Like I just don't, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to love, like, how can you call this loving someone?
Yeah.
Right? So, however, when you look at a loving situation, you loving parents, of course, our loving father, they will know that those struggles will make you prevail in the end.
Mhm.
So, telling your child, "Well, I'll be here for you, but you kind of
Mhm.
have to go through this in order
Yeah.
for it to, but I'll hold your hand and I'll be here." So, it's a beautiful in itself, but it's very hard for young
Mhm.
teens to see that because
Yeah.
they don't know the outcome. Like we never know the outcome. We never know like how long that tunnel is. And we
Mhm.
don't think there's ever a light at the other side, but it's like,
Yeah.
no, you just gotta go on and
Yeah.
I'll hold
Exactly.
your hand. Like it's okay. It'll be
Mhm.
good. Okay, let's move on to our track number 2. Let me just go to your page back here. Okay, so track 2, take us through, so more than you gave. Take us through
Mhm.
a little bit about, or do you want to listen to it first and then go and talk
No, I'll
about it
kinda, yeah,
after?
I'll preface it. So, yeah, this one
Okay.
is called "More Than You Gave." It is, it's inspired by Post Malone's "Fall Apart." I just love the trends, how that song progresses. And so this song is, my heartbreak track where, when I was struggling in my relationship with God and just like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where God is. I don't think, he cares about me if he does exist. And so I started to, look at like love, romantic love specifically, as maybe that is the source of salvation. Maybe that can, maybe if I find the right
Mm.
person, maybe they can heal all the things that are broken in me. Maybe we can, find this perfect love that will heal everything. And I think through this song, one, there was a realization when things started to break down in a relationship. It was the realization that no person can hold you all the way up. No person can handle that amount of pressure. And so it was a realization that, man, even this love is not going to sustain me, that I'm now looking to and holding up onto a pedestal. And so this song kind of finds me at the tail end of a relationship, and then again falling deeper into darkness when I realize this love, this my last ditch effort to really save myself through romantic love is not what I thought it would be. And so where do I go from here?
Okay, perfect. Well, let's get into this one. Can't wait to hear this one actually.
Feeling left behind, am I bound for below? God, I need your help, I could use a halo. I heard you walk on water, but can you save a soul? I just don't know. Lately I've been down, but I can't be consoled. So done with life, dog, I might overdose. I needed more than you gave. You slept on me while I lay wide awake. Not all who wander will stray. That's what you said right in front of my face. So I can't walk this path that you paved. I just don't know how much more I could take. How many times must I lose all my faith? Lose all my faith. Lose all my... Baby, am I too much or maybe not enough? I've been out here looking for someone that I could love. I know this ain't working, so goodbye and best of luck. Hold it, wait a second, I forgot to get my stuff. Feeling left behind, am I bound for below? God, I need your help, I could use a halo. I heard you walk on water, but can you save a soul? Lately I've been down, but I can't be consoled. So done with life, dog, I might overdose. Feeling left behind, am I bound for below? God, I need your help, I could use a halo. I heard you walk on water, but can you save a soul? Lately I've been down, but I can't be consoled. So done with life, dog, I might overdose.
Okay, that one I felt deep.
Mhm.
Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah, I love the beat to that too. It's just
Mhm.
so deep and so real, and it just hits
Yeah,
you. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Tell me,
yeah.
when you're writing or
Mhm.
recording, oh my goodness, that's just deep. Do you
Mhm.
ever like does it just hit you in your heartstrings and just, do you ever just break down? Like
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
like take me through the process of like making this song.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This one I remember, so I found a beat, and the words just started coming out as I was reflecting on a particular relationship that happened around this time where, my faith was falling apart, and again looking for romantic love to be that thing that would save me. And so I remember writing it to this particular beat, and then I had some issues. I wasn't able to get the full beat. And so I was like, man, I've written these lyrics. I love the idea. Like the song was completely done and written. And so I reached out to Afumbam, who mixed all this project, and I was like, "Man, I have this song idea. I need you to do something for it because I believe in the idea so much. And so he recreated this beat, and I felt like he was able to capture that progression that I was looking for. And so again, it's a simple. There's only one verse to it, but I wanted to pack it with the emotion. And this was my first time really going a full song singing. And so I really wanted to stretch myself creatively, but I felt like to articulate the level of heartbreak that I was feeling, it needed to be sung. And so, yeah, I just remember, this particular relationship just really devastated me because I felt like I had put so much hope into this one relationship because I was where I was at in my personal life, and I just expected so much out of a particular person, and to see how those feelings weren't reciprocated made it so difficult for me to move on at the time. And so yeah, like all of these songs on the project really hit me at the specific time when I was writing them. And this one is one of the ones that just kind of came out very naturally. But I remember for Psalm 73, the last song, there was a set of lines that I just kind of wrote. I wasn't thinking about it, it just kind of came out, and I had to
Mhm.
stop and be like, okay, like we're really here. Like, are we going for this? Are we going to
Yeah.
continue,
Oh,
expressing all of these emotions? Because it does, right? It brings so
mm,
much out of you. And I'm glad, you're able to connect with this one in the way that you are, because that
yeah.
was the hope when you're being so vulnerable just with yourself.
Yeah, no, it's very true because I think a lot of people actually do go into relationships.
Hmm.
Um, even like say they came out of a relationship and they hop into a new one. Oftentimes people are not healing the wounds from the last one. And maybe it was their other partner that had more wounds than them, but you know, we don't often stop and take that time to reflect and go, well, what did I learn from the last relationship? What can
Hmm.
I, what can I heal for myself before? And I think it's so important to heal aspects of ourselves before having another
Hmm.
person enter into our lives. I
Yeah.
think it's just like, just to understand like where we're coming from, what we need to work on. And then even let's say God just decides, hey, okay, well, I'm going to throw someone else in your life,
Hmm.
maybe not long after, but they come in. Oftentimes they are like the mirror. If they
Hmm.
are quite a good person for you, they will often mirror your wounds, and
Hmm.
you often have to face them all the time and
Hmm.
go, okay, like this is what you have to deal with this and you have to deal with that because the other person, say they're not good at communication or you're
Hmm.
not good at communication. So they will, in some ways, pull back on the communication somehow. And you're like
Hmm.
not understanding, like, why aren't you texting me more? Or why aren't you calling me? Or why aren't you, why are you just, avoidant and you're walking away when we're having a conversation, whatever it is. Then to be able to sit down and have that conversation can be really tough and really heavy until you confront yourself and go,
Hmm.
oh, perhaps I'm actually doing the same. Or there's something for them to act that way that, I'm not communicating or somehow. So I've seen those examples and of like people coming on the show and talking communication styles and just talking about relationships and stuff.
Hmm.
And I think it's actually a very beautiful thing to find someone that can actually go through those with you. Those, I
Hmm.
think it's someone else's job, but
Yeah.
you're also reciprocating, like you're helping them
Yeah.
in turn to go, okay, like I see you and your wounds, and I'm here also to help you. So you're leaning on each other, which is what a relationship is for. You're not
Hmm.
solely going, well, you're here to fix me. You're here to
Yeah.
help me. You're here to make me whole. It's not that. And I also found like, you know, we ourselves too need to love ourselves
Hmm.
and find happiness within before asking others to fill that void.
Yeah.
Good to have some love and fun together, but when each person has it and brings it together, it's so
Mhm.
much more. I just think of like one heart or one half of a heart and another half of a heart, and you bring it together and it's like more love, even though there's
Yeah, yeah.
not, that's not a broken heart. It's just like, okay, one part of a heart, one part, bring it together and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. And I think it's like
Yeah.
it can be very beautiful, and even to be vulnerable and show those wounds is incredible. So
Mhm.
the lyrics in this song of just kind of that, like, you can kind of feel it, like, why aren't you filling that hole? Why aren't you,
Mhm.
you're reaching out and you're like, why? Like, I can feel that in the song of
Mhm.
like, you're not doing it for me. So what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful in itself because it makes you think, what is happening? What is going on?
Mhm. Yeah.
And yeah, it's beautiful. So our next one is Cry. I'm going to again search a little bit for this one. So if you
For
want
sure.
to go into a little bit about it first. Okay, I've got it here. Would you want to do this, play it first, or do you want to explain it first? What do you feel on this?
Yeah, I'll explain it as well. Yeah, so this one is called "Cry" with a question mark, and so it's really wrestling with again, like coming off of the heels of that breakup. It's like, okay, should I just become numb? Should I, involve myself with substances and dating around and all these different things? Is that the better way to go about things to get through all the pain I'm experiencing, or should I just have a complete breakdown and go through the pain and see where I end up? And so there's this tension that you'll hear in the song, and I think for me, um, in this time of my life when there was like my family is breaking down, love is breaking down, nothing's working out, it just became an excuse to lean into partying and drinking and substances and those different things, um, and to try to numb myself. But by the end, you'll hear it's all just hitting me all at once. Like there's no amount of substances, there's no amount of partying, there's no amount of this and that is able to cover up the wounds that I'm feeling. And so, you can start the process early. You can say, hey, I'm recognizing I'm not in a healthy place. Let me dive into myself and see where I'm at. Or life has a way of just bringing you to the edge of yourself where if you're not going to do the work, then, God will ordain circumstances to really bring you to a halt. And so, that's kind of where I find myself right before the climax of track 4. Cry comes in and delves into that kind of storyline.
Okay. Let's see if we can hear that.
I must have put too much into my cup. Gone with the wind, but it's still not enough. Go roll it up, man, I need me a puff. Back of the club, it's a couple of us, okay? No, we not causing a fuss, but trust that we ready to bust. Like we catch a transit. Life around me is so tragic. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent, but how can I manage? Homies, they vanish like magic. Lately, I've been on my own with salmon. Whoa. I need escape from the planet. My soul has been so deeply damaged. I wake up in a panic to start acting manic. I think it's a picture I might have to paint. Hand me the palette, I'll show you my brush with a habit. I can't seem to kick of the brain. I'm like a monk or a habit. See, I can't even grab it. I don't have no time to go waste. What would you do if we swapped out our shoes and you had to start walking your journey? Am I? How about you stand up and see if you really so ready to go out and give it a try? I thought I told you my signs. Don't be so quick if you can't even look in my eye. Ooh, yeah. I don't need much if I'm gonna survive. It ain't no biggie, I'm ready to die. Big Papa done told me there's life at the death, so imagine I make it despite what I done. How can my sin be forgiven? My past I can never run. Still I might go off and finish what I have already begun. Oh my God, I don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry right now. Don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry right now. Don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry right now. Don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry right now. I whip around while I'm in a two-seater. Lately I've been feeling more like a Caesar. Think with my PYT but to go meet her. I wish I had some more time on my meter. I wish I had some more time on my clock. Won't be surprised if it suddenly stop. My mama told me, but watch how you tie. Never gonna stop like your shell like short. I can't be fine with that type of retort. Cause I thought a ring meant a king in his court. Not being bound up in sin just for nothing but sport. An all-inclusive was my last resort. But now I got nothing, I'm stuck in my quarters. I can't make a change. Ain't it been strange how my home is so broken and rental can't fix it? I just wanna cry. Just wanna cry. I just wanna cry right now. Just wanna cry. I just wanna cry right now. Just wanna cry. I just wanna cry right now. Just wanna cry. I just wanna cry right now. Just wanna cry. Just wanna cry. Just wanna cry.
Oh my goodness. Do you want to cry right now? I don't want to cry right now. Okay, take me through this artwork because I'm just gonna rewind back here a little bit. I don't want that other dude in there.
Mhm,
Okay,
yeah.
we're not here for you, buddy. You get your own promo. Um, take us through like the steps and why did you choose like cover like this for your song?
Yeah. Yeah, first and foremost, shout out to A Good Time Photography, Paula, close friend of mine. So yeah, I had reached out to her. My wife has like suggested her. She's like, Paula's amazing. We've known her for a long time. She
Good.
primarily does like weddings and stuff like that. But I reached out to her, and she was super excited to do it, just to flex that kind of creative muscle. And so I had previously shot some like performance clips in this parking lot, and just felt like it captured the emotion so well of like, am I going up or am I going down? Um,
Mm.
and so, she had come up with, with her creative muscle and was just taking that photo. And I felt like it just captured that tension that I said, like, you hear in the first hook, I don't want to cry right now. And then finally breaking down, I just want to cry. And so, I was trying to find ways to capture that both from a visual standpoint and also in the song itself. And so, yeah, I feel like, through all the help I had, we were able to achieve that. And again, yeah, there's just that leaning into that numbness and this kind of external persona of how I want to act tough, I want to act hard, I want to act like everything's okay, but inside, things are slowly breaking apart, and I can't hold it all together anymore.
Mhm. I first of all love how it's just like, yeah, you look at the picture and you're just like, yeah, is he going up or is he down? And is he hiding from his feelings?
Mhm.
Or, is it like, well, I kind of want help and you're trying to sort of lean up, but it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm not quite ready. Maybe, I need to hide a little longer.
Mhm.
You can kind of feel a struggle within the
Yeah. Yeah.
artwork. So she really captured that. Shout out to her. Cause
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
especially when you're doing photography and you have a specialty that you do,
Mhm.
like, to be able to capture something, just this deep in a way, like, good for her. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So you keep using her.
For sure.
Right?
Most definitely. She did a lot of the cover art, for this
Yeah,
project, and so, yeah, she just did a phenomenal job.
it's cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I just love like, you can just get cover art and it makes no sense. And
Mhm.
you're like, "Well, how does this relate to something?" Which sometimes often, like, artists may do that just for that very reason of like, well, they'll get curious and they'll listen to it or whatever just
Mhm.
because it doesn't match, and then people's brains are going, But I like how even, music videos will
Mhm.
correspond to the story of the song as well, and
Yes, yeah.
and things like that. However, just having cover excuse me, cover art and no actual video brings more of the imagination to life, going, well, you really have to stop and really
Mhm.
listen to a song and take in the lyrics and go, oh, okay. Then you envision, I envision this poor man, just off on his own somewhere and just being like fighting with life and going, like, ugh, like, why isn't this situation working out for me? And I just like, I don't want to show people that I'm crying, but I just like, yeah, you can feel like the buildup of just like, oh, like I got to get away and I
Mhm.
gotta like just let this all out without
Yeah.
anyone seeing me. When you are, working with teens, to explain to them about releasing feelings,
Mhm.
how do you deal with that in that kind of a situation?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think it's a delicate balance because, um, in a sense, you don't want to be re-traumatizing the youth or like forcing them to relive their pain. But also there is a very real sense in which they use, relationships or substances, these different things to numb themselves and not experience all that they're going through. And I think from myself, my role has always been to create a safe space for the youth to know, hey, I'm available if you want to talk through the things that you're going through. I can see that you're hurting, and I'm here to ensure that you can get you don't have to talk to me, but it's important to talk to somebody who is safe, is reliable, is able to support the emotions that you're going through.
Mhm.
And so what I love about my current work is that I live on site where the youth are. And so they know me, they know my family, they know like they can reach me if they need to. And so it's just a consistency, showing up every day, leading by example in terms of how when I'm in the hallway, just communicating with my wife or my son in a healthy way. They're able to see that and say, oh, okay, like maybe my own circumstance is different, but that might be a model that I can follow after. And so I think with young people, I'm saying even with my son, it's like he's capturing so much just seeing it. And so again, just leading by example, knowing that, they're always watching, they're always seeing. And so when the time comes when they feel safe enough, they know they're going to get a healthy response from me.
Okay, same sort of question, but about grown men.
Mhm,
Because men are often known as an anchor or the stability. He's the leader. He's strong. He's
mhm,
not supposed to be vulnerable.
mhm.
He's supposed to be the tough guy. What do you say to men out there that are dealing with situations like that as well?
Yeah, yeah. This was like the tension that I found myself. There is that stereotype with men, young men, that you can't have emotions, that you can't break down. I grew up in an environment where it was like frowned upon to, be, emotional or, have a strong response to something. And so I think the beauty of a relationship with God, you see on the night that Jesus is about to be arrested. He asks his disciples to pray with him. They say like, we're tired, we can't. And there's this moment where he's praying to his father and he's crying. He's crying to the point of blood coming out of his head, because he's having this strong of a response because he knows what's going to happen. And so I think it's recognizing, hey, God has made you with these emotions. They're not like foreign. They are coming up for you. What you're doing is suppressing them. And so to see, okay, when you have this emotion and it's in a healthy environment, this is what it looks like on the other side of that. There's healing, there's a release, you feel better, you're able to respond better. There's moments when I've gotten so angry and become uncontrollable, and we think that's a masculine emotion, but it
Yeah.
really makes you unable to think clearly. It makes you act irrationally. It makes you act dangerously. And so again, as we talked about earlier, like holding up a mirror of like, this is the response. Like people are afraid of you. People, your loved ones, can't rely on you. They don't know what to expect from you. So I think again, showing men that this is not actually what the outcome that you want. And but when you're able to process and have a moment of crying or just vulnerability, there's actually a much healthier response the majority of the time from people that love and care and want to see you healthy. And so I
Yeah.
think kind of just walking men through who maybe have never had the opportunity, who have lived their lives for so long a particular way, saying this is actually a healthy model, that can bring about reconciliation, that can bring about peace in a relationship or in your dynamic.
Yeah, because men will hold that tension and stress for so long, and then all of a sudden it's like, and so you become accustomed to seeing them strong and like, oh yeah, nothing will ever bother them. But then, to actually like if they break down and cry, then even kids, they'll be like, oh, what's wrong, daddy? Like, because they know,
Mhm.
like, oh, I cry and I don't feel good and something's wrong. So they can
Mhm.
relate. And then so if you break down, you're like, oh, you're crying, and then they can come and go, what's wrong? And then often like they'll just come and hug you to try to make you
Mhm.
feel better. And
Yeah,
then of course, like, your spouse or whoever's with you, and they can also see, you're crying, and it's like, then you can understand again a little bit
yeah,
more. Well, okay, instead of, yeah, just taking it out on somebody or just getting mad, you can say, this is just something that's weighing on me. And, then oftentimes, yeah, you work together and you can work through it. And it is a way healthier way to deal with it than
Mhm.
bottling it up and getting stressed out. And then, like you said, it just becomes an outrage and you just want to punch a wall or something, right? Because you don't know what
Mhm.
else to do and you don't want
Yeah.
to take it out on your family. But at the same time, you're struggling and you're juggling it, right?
Mhm.
So oftentimes, yeah. And anyone watching with, you want to cry, go cry. It's okay.
Mhm.
Find a parkade and go cry. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So the next one that we're looking at is your autobiography. Audio
Mhm.
biography. This is
Mhm.
an interesting name. So
Mhm.
let me go through this and you can find your, you want to explain this one.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the audio biography, the climax of the project when you meet yourself, and the climax of this section of the project called Salvation. And so this is when everything really comes to a head. It recounts the night where I was out with my brothers. One of my brothers gets into a car accident, and then I get into a fight with my other brother and end up jumping out of the vehicle while he's driving. And so this was what I call my rock bottom moment, where I really had to take a step back and start to wrestle with some existential questions like, why am I here? Do I want to continue living? Who is God? Where is he? Those sort of things. And so, earlier in the album, there is this tension and trying to numb and suppress. But I finally reached the point where I was like, okay, I have to figure out what's going on, or I don't think I'll be long for this world anymore. And so, yeah, audio biography tells that story, and then the second half recounts sort of moments that led to me having a relationship with Jesus, and the journey that he took me through of realizing who he is and who he's created me to be.
And why did you jump out of the car?
You gotta listen to the song to find out.
Okay. Because as you know, Zaire will put up on social media, why did I jump out of the car? Well, this is why. We're going to find
Yeah.
out.
You've got to let go and let it happen. Because if you don't, you're going to be all clutched up. You're going to be constantly trying to do what can happen healthily only if you don't try. But we have a strange anxiety in us that if we don't interfere, it won't happen. And that's the root of an enormous amount of trouble.
It was apparent my mommy and daddy are done being married, they calling it quits. Me and my brothers are broken spirit, like why would you really go do it like this? Why don't we might as well go at the plug and wait to get lit while smoking a sip? School me a Betty, my calling my baby, then take her right back to the crib. BJ and he was with two of the homies, pushing the pedal, we hopped on the highway. Tell me to stop what I'm doing, I'm destined to die, but the questions, why wait? Straight at the barrel, a shot to the head, send him right back when we order again. I'm in, I'm reaching my limit, I'm no longer timid. In fact, now I finally feel I'm alive. Shorty, watch me work, I came to handle business. I can lay the lock and look, I'm too litigious. Starting to teeter, my brothers my keepers. Can't be a leader. Got in the middle, I had to go meet her. Too busy and notice he up and left. Just like I'm bad, my life is intense. BJ and Jordan with James, making our way through the valley of death. I guess we wasn't ready for what happened next. Starting to sound like the pilgrims regress. They last two brothers, a couple of whips, and one too many accidents. I don't wanna be the one inside a broken home. Why should I keep living when I'm out here on my own? I don't wanna be the one inside a broken home. Why should I keep living when I'm out here on my own? Hey, race for impact. Yeah, my brother car crash. He all good, got whiplash. Oh no, I can't sit back. It cost him his life, but he totaled the car. Drove to the scene and put it in park. Under my breath, so we living so dark. You're looking like, who do you think that you are? I said, forget it, I don't wanna talk. I spoke out of turn, just move it along. Y'all are my brothers, I'm only concerned. But now at the time, I admit that I'm wrong. If we wanna make it out the bottom, we can live this way. Like shit could be dead and gone, we got the Cardi D away. Can't go back in time, but we can make a change and start today. Jay, I'm only saying, why you acting like I'm throwing shade? Bro, that took a turn, we headed home, so why you going straight? Homie, start the car, I wanna get out, I'll just walk away. Hey, who made you kill me? Let's take a run check. You wanna go, let's fight to the death. Brother against brother, as old as it gets. With it, I'm feeling, I jump, no regret. You think I'm tripping and trying me, pressing the pedal and sped. Hold up a second, you see I ain't playing. I'm bucking my belt on the real, that's the effort that left.
is my shepherd, I shall not want.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
He leads me beside the quiet and still waters.
He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil,
for thou art with me. I pray to God that he whisked me away and hopped up with me, I'm in her space. I might be dead, but I'm not in the grave. I'm on the tunnel of insulin. Yeah, standing in front of the pearliest gates. I met a man and he told me the way. How's it you can come in and be saved? Yeah, I do not understand why is you asking. I wasn't born with a spoon made of silver inside of a mansion. All of my life I had so much compassion. Ain't that enough that I've gone in the actions? Don't think for a second your sin was anonymous. All that you did with your days in the body, where you belong in the pit is bottomless. Okay, I remember when I was ungodly. Ask me if I done it and I answered proudly. Might be twisted, but I dread when I be naughty. Who can save my soul from sin inside my body? I put my faith in Yeshua Yahweh. Down on my knees now I properly pray. But take my sin and just wash it away with the cost that you paid on the cross you were slain. You tell me that here in your presence I cannot remain. But you gon' be with me for all of my days. Now back in my body I finally wait. Yeah, I just saw the light now it's alright cause I'm okay. Yeah, that boy meant the son of man. I pray you do the same. Yeah, devil want me dead. I told him no, not today. I don't play. Yeah, come from different cloth. I can't be swayed.
First of all, I just have to say, it shouldn't be orange lights in there. It should have been like cop lights.
You're right.
Like, I think it was so cool if it was like cop car, like the lights were red and then blue.
Right.
So I don't know who did your visuals, but
Yeah, I had to swap that out.
swap it out. That's all I'm saying.
That's a great idea.
Right? Because, like, well, it's the car and then the car crash. And, you know,
Mhm.
when you think of any car crash, police or fire trucks or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
you could
absolutely.
even add a siren in there. Just saying.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'll
that's the
swap it
producer.
and give you
That's the
some credit
producer
on
side of me. This is
it.
this is Carrie's remake, and this is her remix, and then. But yeah, I mean it paints its own kind of picture. But
Mhm.
you know, when it comes to, it's really interesting how just a beat like this, and then like you just get caught up in it, and it's like, you
Mhm.
know, you're like, yeah, but it's like this is serious, like this is
Yeah,
like serious shit going on, and you're like,
yeah.
yeah. You're just, you know, jamming with it. But that's kind of what happens with music is
Mhm.
vulnerability and the seriousness. You know, I think that it does catch attention when it comes
Mhm.
to a really good beat and a really good message that you're putting out there. And I think God does that intentionally so
Mhm.
that something draws you into it. And then I always find, like, with any music, I'm like, oh, the beat will catch my ear, whatever. It's like the first time listening to it. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's
Mhm.
a really good beat. And then I have to kind of almost listen to it a few times so I get like the
Mhm.
beat, then the lyrics, and then kind of like the whole thing together to
Yeah.
really get the full message across. Then I can
Mhm.
look into it deep and go, oh, like this is a really serious message. Because often
Mhm.
with any music, we're just like, oh yeah, you're rolling the music, like the car windows down, you're listening to music, you're blaring it,
Mhm.
and yet it's like a song about like some serious stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever it may be, whatever the song is, but it's like, oh man, like you don't even realize it because you're just
yeah,
jamming out to it.
yeah.
So I kind of get that vibe with this song, you know, when it's like, oh yeah, you're like kind of, you know, it's a banger. You listen to it,
Mhm.
it's great, and it draws you in, but yet it's like you got to stop.
Mhm.
And like, I don't want a lamppost to stop you, but
Mhm.
you don't need to run out and jump out of a car for this one. But you
Yeah.
know, it does kind of stop you in your tracks, and you're going, oh wait,
Mhm.
like this is a major part of his life and
Mhm.
part of your story. Sometimes, you know, artists won't even, you know, it could be all fantasy made up, whatever kind of a
Mhm.
track, I'm learning more and more that artists these days are actually taking very life, their situations are actually putting it into their music, whereas back
Mhm.
in the day, it wasn't necessarily so. So
Yeah.
now you can tell, you can hear the vulnerability, you can hear like all like in cry, like you do want to
Mhm.
cry. There's a struggle. This, it's almost
Mhm.
like, it was the crash. It was like, that moment, and you knew time stood, like it was standing still at that time.
Mhm.
And it was like, I picture you rolling out of the car and
Mhm.
even possibly just laying on a sidewalk and just like
Mhm.
taking that moment and going, like, not today. Not today, Satan.
Exactly.
Not today. But really, you're like, no, you're telling God, like, I'm willing to fight on. I see, like,
Mhm.
there's a bigger picture here. Take us through writing this song and reliving that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so to your point of, the in terms of the sonics of it, I was very inspired by Kendrick Lamar's album Good Kid, Mad City, where there's so many songs on there like Mad City and Swimming Pools, where it's like these songs are like bangers, like you play them at parties, but when you stop and listen, it's like, oh, he's talking about like it's actually a song. Swimming Pools is like an anti-drinking song, where I remember like we would be turning up to that song as though the message was the opposite, right? And so
Yeah.
I wanted to be intentional with this song. Um, in terms of the beat, the instrumental, because I wanted it to feel like, yeah, he's going to the club, he's turning up, like surrounded by all this music and this fun, but things are happening behind the scenes in this corner of the world of a tremendous story, a night that's going to change everyone's life involved is happening, is unfolding. And so, you don't realize until you reach the end where the beat cuts out and the crash happens, and it's like, oh, like what was I just listening to? Because I was just turning up to it. But it seems
Yeah.
like there was that major stop. And that's very much how it felt. Like things were going one way, and though I wasn't necessarily happy, and I would have these moments of introspection. It was when I drove up to the car scene and saw my brother had been in a car crash that like time stopped for me. And I was like, whoa, like this lifestyle that we've adopted that has been going on for several years now is becoming increasingly dangerous. And it seems like one of these nights, one of us is gonna um, leave this earth. One of us is gonna end up in serious harm. And so from that kicked off, the verbal altercation I get into afterwards with my brother, is him and I are just driving home, and he wants to revisit that comment I said. And I remember our house was to the left and he kept going straight. And then I was like, just pull over. Like, I don't want to have this conversation right now. And things just escalated from there. And it was me wanting to get away from the situation and not knowing how else to do that, but really just being tired of life itself, feeling like there's no way out of this hole that I've dug myself into, and just jumping out of that car. It was that final cry for help. I remember connecting with some friends afterwards, and I was like, something needed to give. It didn't need to be that drastic, but something just needed to kind of break the lid off of everything that I've been going on. I needed to have a moment where I could snap out of things and say, like, what am I doing here? And so I've always lived my life based on one worldview or another. And at this time, it was like hedonism. It was like, pleasure, just substances, drinking, partying, like let's just, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it to the max. That's kind of how my mind is.
Yeah.
And so that completely shifted when I was like, I used to have kind of this faith in God, this thinking about the world beyond myself. And so I kind of just got back to that of like, what am I really here for? Like, is it is there some God that can help me through this, and give me a reason and a purpose for living? And through that journey, I use a near death experience as a metaphor. But for about a year and a half, I just went on a journey, reading, praying, studying, and through that time, God just started to reveal himself to me in incredible ways, that it was like, I know that I know who he is. I know the brokenness that's within me, and I can't heal myself. I can't fix myself. I can't get through these things on my own. And, through that relationship, God just started to empower me to live the way that he had designed me to, started to, reorient my mind, bring new relationships in, just things started radically transforming in my life that I can't explain outside of that relationship with Christ.
Yeah. It's incredible how, he shakes us up, whether it's physically or mentally.
Yeah.
And like it's true, like it almost takes near death experiences for a lot of us to just snap out of things and go, hey, like, God's like, he's always like, he wants our attention, but he's like, I'm not going to beg you for my
Hmm.
attention. But it's like, as you draw further and further away from him, he's like, maybe I do need to kind of smack someone and
Hmm.
kind of bring them back here because that's not as far as I want you to go, like,
Hmm.
especially when you're, going down the partying route, the drugs,
Hmm.
alcohol, and you're not facing life. You're just like, I'm gonna cover it up like a band-aid, use everything else like substances, and it'll go away. Like it'll be fine, whatever,
Hmm.
But to be able to take a situation and go, hey, like I know I'm not getting out of this. I know I can't get anywhere, and to be able to actually put yourself into a situation where you are actually telling God, yeah, like this, I know it's my time. It's my time
Hmm.
to be awake. It's my time to be with you, and I need you more than ever now. And he'll be like, yeah, okay. So you're lucky, like,
Hmm.
there are situations where it takes someone else's death for us to kind of wake up, or like
Yeah.
close ones to die or whatever.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like sometimes that happens, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
to be able to kind of take your own life in your own hands and just learn something major from that is huge. Cause yeah, you could have
Yeah.
seriously died, you know,
Hmm.
right then and there. But it's like there are so many near death experiences people have, and it's like, how
Hmm.
are they like not dead yet?
Hmm.
And God's like, well, no, you're not done here. We got another,
Yeah.
you got some lessons to learn, and then other people need to learn from
Yeah.
you, right? And we just come like this close to thinking,
Hmm.
well, you're broken down, you're at your last end, you're like you said,
Hmm.
you're on your knees, you're just praying, and you're like, I don't even know what to do anymore. And then it's
Hmm.
like, okay, God's like, well, picks you up and goes, it's okay, pets you, puts you back down, puts you on your
Hmm.
way. It's cute and it's very powerful. And it's one of those messages where it's like, thank God, because
Hmm.
yeah, he could just leave us, he could abandon us, he could do whatever.
Yeah.
But because he loves us so much, it's like, well, no, I just need you to see a lesson out of this. And you're going to be used later on for someone else, but right then and there,
Hmm.
you do not see it.
Yeah.
So it's so good, so powerful. Okay, let's go into the last track,
Hmm.
which is your SMS. What does SMS stand for?
Yeah, so it's a play on words. So SMS, you think of short messaging system, which is text
Absolutely.
messages, and then SMS, save my soul. And so it was me as it was transition out of this salvation section of the album. This is the first song in the sanctification process, and so that is how God is making us into His image, how He's giving us new desires, new wisdom, new understanding. And so this song talks about how God's message, his text, the Bible, started
Oh, I like
to
that.
yeah started to transform my mind. The Bible says, "Be not conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed in the renewing of your mind." And so God has given us His word. To reveal to his plans, his way of salvation, his way to know him, to live the way he's called us to live for flourishing.
Yeah.
And so this was, in response to the word and how Jesus revealed himself to me, was me saying, "Save my soul," and God just moving me to read his word and start to understand him better.
Oh, I just love what you did with that. Well, anyone kind of knows, like it's usually SOS, save our souls.
Mhm. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And you watch any movie, anything, and it's like, oh, it's written on the beach, SOS, or
Yeah.
on that rooftop if there's a flood, SOS. So to actually, take it and have several kind of messages in there, is quite clever. And then that way, I think, yeah, more people can relate and go, oh, well, I've got SMS on my phone. So what's this all about?
Mhm.
So it may draw
Yeah.
people to that going, oh, there's more to this. And like
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
you brought like the text word into the
Mhm.
text, the script text. So
Yeah.
clever. That's so clever. Okay, here we go. This is so cool.
SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul. SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul, say my SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul. SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul, say my phone on D&D, we're about to go, just RIP, ain't no more time for say la VC, I spend my life on my knees, please, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, you say my soul, when I was already bound for the bottom of one, a block with a bunch of devil, you came, you said to the devil, I bottom, yeah, I bottom. That's the motto. I went inside him, I told her, now don't leave me falling like Autumn. I'm looking inside, it's a lot like a Sodom, and demons are real, I saw them. I was in the dark one night trying to find where I went, cause I ain't seen me. Am I too late? Should I go back home when I can, cause broken with debris? How did I get to the point in my life where I went to confide in a benchy? If it was not for the name I waited, I promise I wouldn't be free. Oh, by the way, I've been doing real good. Looking for rest, I'll smoke a bad wood. If find me a lady, it's misunderstood. I should probably be someone to money, but the God above me, sure I didn't go psychotic. That was a promise, I'm being modest. I had enough and I finally said, SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul. SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul, say my... What if I told you I wasn't okay? Puff on that pivot at the start of the day, what more can I say? I was out bait like I just got deployed. So paranoid that a voice in the water can help her go back to the homies like doing McKinnon that came to destroy. Boy, when you been in the gutter with gunners, you stone with your brothers and never do utter but milking the moon for relics of butter. Yeah, as soon as I flew at the cool and I had to go ducking my kin in the goose, I ain't know what to do, I ain't know what to... Homie handed me a tag, felt official like a ref, yeah. All I said was what next, bruh. He replied with say less. If you there, take his breath. I'm not becoming a menace. Mommy and daddy did not name me Dennis. God gave me wisdom, don't go to the dentist. Called it a name and he got me up out of the trenches. I mean, yeah, I was love, but now back on solid ground. I ain't know much about fighting no demon. Had to go back to the garden and eating. Used to be LA night with heathens. Now stay reading the book of Philemon. I ain't even know how God would ever guide me through. Now I'm on the stage, I wanna share this prayer with you. SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul. SMS, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, I read your text, say my soul, say my soul. SMS, say my soul, say my soul, say my soul. The grass withers and the flowers fade, but the word of our God just stands forever.
Oh, I like that one too. Oh my goodness. Take it, because I'm going to put that back up. Because as we talk about it, I want people to be able to see that and know what we're talking about. So I think that's important. The text and saving our souls. I mean, how much clearer can it be, you know, picking up text, and it sometimes like hearing the word of God and reading the word of God can always be, I find, like, some people have never even read a Bible or maybe don't even know about Bibles or whatever, but somehow God will get a message through somehow down the line, you know, whether it's just subliminal messaging or whatever it may be, or like we said, you know, just something drastic happens in our life and it's like, no, like here's the message. I just have to look at the screen. It's like almost like a number 3. That's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose, but hey. God, you're good. I see you. Yeah, it's pretty incredible how he just throws messages everywhere just like that.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Uh, Take us through like a little bit about really finding kind of like that first message that really sunk in that God really sent to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, to your point about how, some people don't have access to a Bible, some people have never heard the Bible. And so, what I love is that God is the God of the universe. He's not beyond reaching you in any particular way. There's countless stories of people in places where the Bible or Christianity is untouched, where it hasn't the gospel hasn't been shared, and God just revealing Himself to people in visions, and they know, and then in some way, Bibles start to come about, and the Word of God starts to be spread. And so, for me, it was this jumping out of a car, and then I remember just saying to God, like, I have no friends. And then shortly thereafter, there was, one of my best friends today. He lives 5 minutes from me, and just, came to me in the gym one day. It was like, hey, like, I know you do, you're into the arts, and we've seen each other for a long time, but I had never really connected with him. And
Yeah.
so we just started working out together, and then he would just, share the Bible with me. I would see the way he lives, and I was like, man, to if I want to be his friend, I have to start changing out my ways. And through him just kind of sharing the gospel with me in relation to everything that I was going through, it started to really just rub off on me. And I remember I was on YouTube during this time looking for just different messages, and I stumbled on this pastor, um, who's from a small town. He passed away a few years after I encountered him, but he would just encourage people that were listening to him to read the Bible, study for yourself, to pray. And so that was when, the Bible started to come alive for me. I always loved like the Old Testament. So the Bible has the Old and the New Testament. And so I always loved kind of the history aspect of it. But, the New Testament reveals Jesus, and the Old Testament is preparing us for that. And so I remember I was struggling, with so many things. I had started to believe in God, but that doesn't mean everything that you carry into that relationship changes. You still have your struggles, and that's what sanctification is about. And so I remember I was still struggling with a number of things, and I was just like, God, like, I can't find a way to break through these addictions. And I remember reading God's word. There's a passage in John. It's kind of a sequence of passages, but Jesus said, this is the only work that God desires of you, to believe in the one that He sent. And then Jesus says, this is the will of the Father, that the one that He sent not lose any that have been given to Him. And so those two verses were like so just mind they broke my mind, because it was like, all I have to do is believe in Jesus, and Jesus is promising us that those that have been given to Him, He won't lose. So He's holding on to us far more tightly than we can hold on to Him. And so
Yeah.
that just kind of changed the way I would live my life, because I was like, I believe in Him. I know that He's going to empower me. He's going to give me new desires. He's going to help me break through all the things that I'm struggling with. And God has been faithful to that. There's been so many things that I don't know how I lost a desire for them. Like, I used to smoke every day. I'm not going to not smoke. And,
Yeah.
God just started to change my heart, where it was like, I want to be in His presence. I want to read His word. I want to be in relationship with Him. I want to connect with like-minded people. And so, yeah, so, from God starting to speak to me through that friend, to giving me a desire to read His word, that's when I started to really see how He was communicating to me, and helping me understand who He is and who He wants me to be.
Right. Just those messages. And I love how he just sends people in your life like at the exact moment that you need them.
Yeah.
Like it's like kind of like our guardian angels in a way. It's like, here's a little
Mhm.
angel, they're gonna help you along
Mhm.
your path, and you guys are gonna be best friends, and good luck. He'll teach them some things and it'll be fine. I just
Mhm.
love that because, like, it's like, how else do these things happen? You could live
Mhm.
literally on the other side of the world or other side of the city or whatever, and then all of a sudden your paths cross one day, and it's like it can change your life forever, like you
Yeah.
said, and they have a message or whatever, and it just and it's so cool. It's so cool to
Mhm.
see just how God works, like, in mysterious ways. That's how He
Mhm.
works, right? So
Mhm.
we never doubt it, but it's like just to hear stories from people about their situations of like, how they just came to God or whatever. And it's like, it's
Mhm.
interesting. It's really
Mhm.
interesting to kind of hear it and go, okay. And especially when you're ready, right?
Yeah.
When we're ready to accept and we're ready to change our ways and we're ready and then it's that we're asking like the whys and the hows and it's like, well, how do I get out of, like you said, getting out of this addiction?
Mhm.
And it's not, and he gives us the tools. As they say, God will give us the ingredients,
Mhm.
to making a cake. He'll give us the eggs, the flour, and everything we need. But it's up to us to kind of, mix them together and make sure
Mhm.
we get it in the oven and, we're good. So we have to kind of make sure God will throw us an ingredient. Oh, here's a friend. Here's one message.
Mhm. Yeah.
Here's the bowl. The gym is the bowl. And, so it's really interesting to see how he does that. And then
Mhm.
to come back and to reveal that story to others. And it's like, oh, it's so cool. It's so cool how
Yeah.
he works. And it's like, it's so mind boggling some days of like just how he does it. It's so
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
So cool. And then just, God is so good. It's so cool. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just amazing. And then how he puts you into a situation of just like bettering, things get better
Mhm.
as you're finding one way. And then it's like the ingredients get better. It's like, okay, like with the cake, then it's like, okay, well, now I'll give you the icing.
Mhm.
Oh, the cake's big. Here's some icing, and then here's some sprinkles. And then finally, maybe
Yeah,
birthday candle, whatever it may be, but you can see it gets better and better and better.
for sure.
And it's just like those tiny little steps that we take to be able to let God work on us and
Mhm.
work with him and go, yeah,
Yeah.
like we're here, we're ready, and we're vulnerable to be able to do that. I love the
Mhm.
messages in your songs. I love like this whole, even just the 5 first tracks of
Mhm.
this project. I mean, I call it an album already, but but it's not even complete yet. So,
Yeah, 5 more
we'll
to go.
have, right? So when you're done your 5, how far are you along with the next 5?
So I'm dropping 1 track a month, so the next one is
Okay.
coming out next Friday, which is called "Haven't You Heard?" And so,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna keep it going after that. So I think, November is when the last track will be dropping, which is called "Awesome God."
Awesome. God. Ooh. Let me know when it's all out
Sounds
and then
good.
we'll have you back and then we'll complete the project and
Would
it'll
love
be
that.
fun. It'll be like a wrap-up party.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Exactly. It'll be so much fun. But thank you for coming on and digging into your story and digging into, just some tidbits of people may be watching. And this may be their wake up call. This may be
Mhm.
how they find God or, just your music may touch someone's soul today. So hopefully, if you guys are watching and it touches you, please comment. Please, share this out. Definitely subscribe to his music, Zaire's music.
Mhm.
Theirs. So yeah, it's incredible. Like keep making it. Let me know if you change up the lighting on your one.
Well, I got you, I got you.
I'm
Imma look
gonna
into that.
tag me in there and Carrie's little remix, but
Yeah.
um it's kind of fun to be able to play around with it and see.
Mhm.
And again, thank your wife for your time today and give your son a hug and he's gotta be getting a little bigger now, hey?
Yeah, he's, 1 year next month, so it's August 4th is his birthday, so it's coming up.
Ooh, coming up, and then
Yeah.
soon he'll be running around if he's not starting to walk already.
Don't say that, he's still our
Okay.
little baby.
Hold him tight, just like God
Yeah,
holds us tight, right?
yeah,
Enjoy
I
like
know.
those baby stages because
Yeah,
they grow up fast. Absolutely.
yeah, he's already looking so different, I'm like, "Man, you're not the same little guy that we
Oh,
brought home yesterday."
yeah. Never within like the first year, never hold up like a newborn picture against like each month because like
Yeah,
you'll be disappointed. Just don't.
we've made that mistake several times.
And then you're like, oh, stop growing. Like, just stop
Yeah,
growing because they're so cute and
exactly.
small.
Yeah,
But, you know, these life lessons that you've learned so far and
mm,
you're bringing them to your son in little ways
mhm,
already and then bringing them to the youth that you're around. So
yeah,
God must be so proud of you for sharing out your messages. I
mhm,
mean,
thank you.
anyone should be proud of you, especially your wife, and for growing and sharing messages and just like letting God just use you. And it's
Mhm,
amazing what you can
Thank you
do.
so much.
So yeah, keep doing your music, and we'll have you back, and it'll be fun. And um, I did not see you being a nominee for YYC Music Awards this year.
I didn't put any nomination up this year just
Yeah.
because of the like the release schedule of my project
Okay.
didn't quite line up. So next year we'll be submitting for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be good to see. Because I was like, oh, because I know you're YYC Music Award winner, and I was like, yeah, that's so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cool. And I was like, oh, maybe he'll be there to perform. And then I was like, oh no, he wasn't nominated. But
Yeah, no, I was like, let me wait till the full project is out, and then we can,
yeah,
pick
no,
and
I
choose the
think that makes
categories.
complete sense,
Mhm,
because then again, it's kind of like a complete story, and then be able to go up
mhm.
and, because oftentimes, like even now, it's like everyone's gonna be waiting. Well, where's the rest of this project?
Exactly.
Which is great. But at the
Yeah,
same time, when you're up performing at the YYC Music Awards, everyone's like, well, they want to know the rest of the story, like
yeah,
where's
yeah,
the
yeah.
project, and well, he shouldn't be here. He's not done. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
just kidding.
No, but shout out to, I know it came out a couple of days ago, so shout out to, all the nominees. It's an incredible
Yay.
lineup of artists, so shout out to
Right?
them.
That's okay. I put my name in to be nominated. I didn't get nominated. So, but
Next year we're both taking it.
yeah, but I didn't know the criteria for it.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's very important. Plus, I just like the past 10 years, I saw it floating around, and I wasn't, I think, at the point where I was really invested in it. And then
Mhm,
as
mhm,
I've had different artists on my platform through the years, like Tiny Wings and Kay the Chosen, and,
mhm,
um, you know, KL is one of my good friends. And so I know a lot of the artists in the industry. So
mhm.
being able to cheer from behind the scenes is really fun. And it's like, oh
Yeah.
yes, like go team. But then when I was there last year, I actually have reached out to Alberta Davis, who I don't know if she runs it or whoever, however she's involved, she's very heavily
Mhm,
involved with it. I
mhm,
said, well, how does one kind of, can I get nominated? And she
mhm,
says, as an industry person, whether maybe it's a venue or a presenter or whatever, you
mhm.
can actually go and be nominated. So I was like, oh, okay. So when that came out, and I looked at the criteria for it, it was very, I had, you have to show the projects of who you were involved with the community. And
Mhm.
even though I interview a lot of artists, not a lot of them are from Calgary. Some are outside of
Okay.
Calgary, and some had been within, like, before the timeline. Actually,
Right.
quite a bit of people were before the timeline. So I myself was very, like, cutting it close to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
to the point where I could send in a sample of our interview, and actually
Mhm.
send in a sample of Kay's um, interview as well, but it may not have been enough. So,
Right.
but yeah, I'm going to have, because I do want to support more local artists and have them on,
Mhm,
and do more of this. So I want to, keep up with that. But yes, we will be nominated next year, and we
mhm.
will
Yeah.
be up on the stage cheering for each other, and it'll be fun. So
Yes,
at
it'll
least
be
we
amazing.
won't be running against each other, which is good.
Yeah.
But even if
There
you
you go.
won, I would still cheer for you. So it's okay.
Hey, likewise, likewise. You have an amazing platform, and I'm always grateful
Thank
for the
you.
opportunity to talk with you.
Absolutely. And again, if there's any Calgary artists here or from Edmonton or surrounding areas, you want to come on, just let me know. I'll have you on the show or do another album party. If you too, as well as Ari, like if you know someone that could benefit
Mhm.
as well from coming on, please send them my way. I don't mind at all. Or like whether it's an interview or doing some songs or whatever like that. Because I just think there's messages that need to be sent out there. So
Yeah.
all SMS, they don't always have to cost. So some do, some don't, but this doesn't.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that
perfect.
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
I
definitely
will
send
not,
some your way.
yeah, absolutely. I will not take you any more time here. And
No, no
again,
worries.
just hug your wife for me. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. And your little one, give squishies and some love. And yeah, and just keep
Thank you
going,
so
have
much.
fun, get those messages out there. I'm sure the two, I would love, oh, I've got a product for you,
Mhm,
whether you release it or not. But your two lines of just like those messages that you had brought up and said, like, those are the two lines that stood out.
mhm.
pray on it and see if there's something you can come up with for either of them both in the song or two
Mhm.
different tracks on that. That would be
Mm.
amazing because I think that would be deep and
Yeah,
beneficial as well. So I'm here to relay that message to you, I guess.
I appreciate it. That's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that before, so that's a great idea.
Yeah. So that and your cop car lights, and we're good.
There
Okay,
we go.
Zaire, have a great rest of your day. I'm so thankful for you to come on today. And yeah, again, say thanks to everybody. And yeah, just enjoy, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks again, Carrie. Really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for tuning in this afternoon to a very cool little album listening party. Well, I wasn't even like a full album, half of an album listening party, but sometimes these messages and these fun little parties are just a way to dive in deep onto what an artist is getting out there for us and their music and their messages. And you never know who's listening and what's going on, and somebody may need to hear something today just to uplift them and just to hear God's little messages. So it's pretty cool. Again, if you are of a Calgary and or surrounding area artist that would like to come on, I love to have other people on my show. Don't get me wrong, I love other artists. I love that you're doing the things. I just want to get Calgary in the books a little bit more and get your stuff out there and released, and we'll have some fun. So hit me up and we'll definitely have you on. All right, with that, you guys have a great Wednesday afternoon, and we will see you probably Saturday for Connected with Carrie. I will keep you posted on that. Otherwise, we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.